So students, our today's topic is composition of soil. So first of all, I am coming to the introduction of the soil. So what is soil? Soil refers to the outer loose layer of the earth's crust. Outer loose layer of the earth's crust is known as soil. Now what soil consists of? Soil is a mixture of minerals, gases, liquids, organic matter and large number of organisms, I can say, including microorganisms also. Now how soil is formed? Soil is formed as a result of weathering of rocks and volcanic ash deposits, and formation of soil is affected by different factors like rainfall, wind, humidity, temperature, evaporation and the microorganisms present in the soil. Soil is having definite physical, chemical and biological properties, but its composition changes with according to the region. Means the composition of soil of a particular region may be different as compared to that of the soil of other region. Next is functions of the soil. So what are the basic functions of soil? First is soil acts as a support for the growth of the plants. You all know that plants grow on soil. So I can say soil acts as support for the growth of the plants. Secondly, in soil large number of microorganisms exist. So I can say that soil acts as habitat for many microorganisms. Thirdly, soil provides nutrients to the plants. Next, soil helps in absorbing and transforming many compounds from domestic and industrial wastes. What soil does? Soil helps in absorbing and transforming many compounds from domestic and industrial wastes. You know that we release large number of compounds from our houses along with water as well as from industries. So basically where they go? They go from water into the soil. So I can say that soil helps in absorbing them, and after absorbing they may be transformed or converted into some other form. So I can say that soil acts as a biochemical reactor for these wastes. And lastly, soil helps in storing water and regulating flow of water. Hence it acts as a hydrological buffer. So these are some functions of the soil. Next I am coming to the composition of the soil. So the composition of soil, although I told you earlier that soil is having different components like minerals, gases, liquids, organic matter and countless organisms. But broadly the soil or components of soil can be divided into two categories. One is biotic components and second one is abiotic components. Now what is the meaning of biotic? Biotic means living or related to living beings or living things, and abiotic means non-living things. So biotic components, what are biotic components of the soil? First you can see I have given the heading in red. Biotic components of the soil include living things or the things which were once living. Biotic components of the soil include all living things and all those living things or non-living things which were once living, मतलब जो पहले कभी जीवित थी. And these include plants, insects, microorganisms, etc. And secondly, abiotic components of the soil include non-living things. Earlier I told you biotic components include living things or living things which were once living. Now they are dead. But in abiotic components include non-living things like minerals, air, water. Now minerals mean all the elements: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and so many, calcium, magnesium, which are present in the soil, and their compounds also. Air and water also are also part of abiotic components. So overall composition of the soil can be divided into four main components. That was in terms of living and non-living, but overall composition of the soil can be divided into four main components, which include inorganic minerals, organic matter, air and water. So inorganic minerals form 45% of the soil and organic matter form 5%. Air form 20 to 23% of the composition of the soil, 20 to 30%, sorry, not 23, and water also 20 to 30%. This is range. Some soil may contain air 20, 25%, 30%, and water also. It is not necessary that it will be 20 always or 30 always. It may be in between them. So first of all, inorganic minerals, I am coming to the inorganic minerals which are present in the soil. So as I told you that inorganic materials form 45% of the composition of the soil. So it is almost half. So I can say that inorganic minerals present in the soil constitute almost half of the total mass of the soil. And the mineral matter of the soil, how it is formed? It is formed by degradation of rocks. And what are the various elements which are present in the soil? Various elements present in the soil include oxygen. You can see I have shown them in red. Oxygen, silicon, aluminium, iron, calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, nitrogen, phosphorus and sulfur. And percentage of different elements in the soil is shown. Oxygen is present in the soil up to 46.6%, silicon 27 to 28% almost, aluminium 8.1%, iron 5%, calcium 3.6%, sodium 2.8%, potassium 2.6%, magnesium 2%, and additionally nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. may also be present. These elements are found, all these elements are found in the soil in minerals, and the minerals that are found in the soil include silica, quartz, various types of silicates, oxides of iron and hydroxides like magnetite. Magnetite means Fe3O4, titanium oxide, TiO, calcium carbonate in limestone. So minerals are present in the form of ores in the soil. So that was about minerals found in the soil. Next I am coming to the organic matter. So from where does the organic matter come into the soil? Organic matter comes from the plants and animals. When the plants and animals die, their dead remains are converted into the organic matter of the soil. So organic matter of the soil include dead plant and animal remains and large number of living microorganisms that inhabit the soil. The living organisms in the soil include various types of insects, worms, earthworms are very common in the soil. Microbes include small microorganisms like bacteria and fungi, etc. Now organic matter of the soil may further be divided into decaying organic matter, means which is decaying. It forms 30 to 35, 33 to 50% of the organic matter of the soil. Decayed organic matter, it also forms 33 to 50% of the soil organic matter, mean which has already decayed, and decaying mean which is presently undergoing decay. And decayed organic matter is also known as humus. Fresh matter mean which is coming, it forms 10%, and living organisms form 5%. So that was composition of organic matter. So next I am coming to humus. I told you what is humus? Decayed organic matter. Decayed organic matter is known as humus. So what is humus? Humus is defined as the decayed organic matter present in the soil. And how it is formed? It is formed by the decomposition of plant and animal remains by or microorganism. So what is humus? Humus is defined as the decayed organic matter present in the soil which is formed by decomposition of plant and animal remains by microorganisms. Now during the process of formation of humus, organic matter is converted into humus or transformed into humus, and the process of conversion of organic matter into the humus is known as humification. Now humus mainly consists of organic compounds as it is formed by degradation of organic matter. So humus mainly contains organic compounds like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, waxes, resins, organic acids, etc., and so many other things. Now the humus or these compounds are further oxidized into humic substances, and humic substances are mainly composed of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, etc. And the elemental composition of humus consists of carbon, elemental composition of humus consists of carbon 45 to 60%, oxygen 25 to 45%, hydrogen 4 to 7%, nitrogen 2 to 5%, and sulfur 1%. Now humus, what is the function of humus? Humus allows organisms to feed and reproduce. Hence it is known as life force of the soil. Means in the soil what helps in maintaining life? Humus helps in maintaining life in the soil. So we can say that humus is known as the life force of the soil. Now as I told you earlier that different substances or organic matter on oxidation are transformed into humic substances. Now humic substances of the soil are classified into three types. First is humic acid group, second is fulvic acid group, and third is humin group. So we will study them one by one. So humic substances of the soil are divided into three types. First one is humic acid group. So what is humic acid group? Humic acid is a dark brown substance. It is a dark brown substance, or I can say group of substances. Humic acid is group of substances which are generally dark brown in color. So I can say humic acid is a dark brown humic substance. Here I mean to say that it may be a mixture of substances, but is dark brown in color and is soluble in water only at higher soil pH values. Higher soil pH value means alkaline. So humic acid group is a group of substances which are soluble in water only at higher pH. So if they are soluble in higher pH, I can say that they are insoluble in acids, or they are precipitated by adding acids, and these are having higher molecular weight as compared to fulvic acid or fulvic acid group, and they contain many acidic compounds having carboxylate and phenolate groups. You already know that common acidic functional groups in organic chemistry are carboxylic acid group and phenolic acid group. So, the humic acid group contains carboxylate and phenolate. So, due to the presence of carboxylate and phenolate groups, these can form complexes with cations like magnesium, calcium, iron 2 and iron 3, ferrous and ferric. Because they are having carboxylate and phenolate ion, they are negatively charged. So, they can form complexes with positively charged metal ions like magnesium 2 positive, calcium 2 positive, ferrous ion and ferric ion. And humic acid group of molecules bind to plant roots and help them to receive nutrients. What is the function of humic acid group? Humic acid group bind to plant roots and help them to receive water and nutrients. And higher humic acid levels can increase yields of the crops, I can say. Next I am coming to fulvic acid group. So, I told you humic acid is brown in color, whereas fulvic acid is yellow to yellow brown in color. So, I can say fulvic acid is yellow to yellow brown humic substance that is soluble in water under all conditions of temperature. You can see the difference. Humic acid group is soluble only in alkaline pH and fulvic acid group is soluble under both conditions, alkaline as well as acidic. Humic acid was having higher molecular weight as compared to fulvic acid. So, fulvic acid is having low molecular weight, and humic acid was having brown color and fulvic acid groups are having yellow to yellow brown color. Next I am coming to third group of humus, humine group. Humine group is black in color. You can notice that humic acid was brown, whereas humine is black humic substance, and it is not soluble in water at any pH, means it will be insoluble in both acids and bases and is having higher molecular weight. So, to categorize, I can say that humic acid is black in color, whereas humine is black in color, humic acid compounds are brown in color, and fulvic acid compounds are yellow in color. And humine and humic acid are having higher molecular weight, whereas fulvic acid compounds are having low molecular weight. And thirdly, humine group of humus is group here mean group of compounds or compound assembly of compounds. So, humine is insoluble in water, humic acid is soluble in water only at alkaline pH, whereas fulvic acids or fulvic acid compounds are insoluble. So, next I am coming to the importance of humus in the soil. So, firstly, humus provides nutrients like carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus and sulfur to soil microorganisms as well as to plants and helps in maintaining soil life. Now, I told you that humus is formed by decay of dead organic remains of plants and animals. So, they mainly contain carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, etc. phosphorus. So, they provide nutrients to the soil microorganisms as well as to the plants. Secondly, humus helps in buffering excess acids and alkalis in the soil. Humus buffering protect plants from excess acids and alkalis in the soil. Thirdly, humus helps in improving the soil structure or as well as improving drainage of the soil and aeration in the soil. Next, humus helps in retaining the soil moisture or I can say soil water. And lastly, humus increases soil's cation exchange capacity, hence helps in storing nutrients by chelation. It helps in storing nutrients by chelation. So these were the different functions of humus. So in this lecture we studied inorganic minerals of the soil and organic material of the soil and functions of humus. So in the next lecture we shall study the remaining two components of the soil, that is air and water, along with different minerals that are present in the soil. So that was all about for today. Thank you.